Hi, Bailey. Pleasure to meet you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm excited to be talking to you today. Let's talk about private property here a little bit. So it's a 1960s remake. Had you seen it before you signed on for this project?
I I'd not heard of it until the filmmaker, the writer director Chad Harbold. We made a movie together called Long Night Short Mornings years back, and he went to a War Notes retrospective at the Lincoln Center in New York, and saw this movie. And apparently, it was a lost film from the '60s until 2016. Had been restored and re-released. So he told me that I had to see it and I had to wait and somehow figure out how to find the movie and finally watch it. And then, over the course of a few years, he would send me different drafts of the script as he was working on it and trying to sort of modernize it and give homage, but make it our own. And so I did watch the movie a couple times, but I would say that it was about a year since I'd seen it once we started filming. So I didn't want to be too sort of
Yeah.
taken, but yeah.
Got it. So you wanted to have your own take on it, but take it as a little bit of inspiration there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the character that I play was played by Corey Stahl, who was in Rebel Without a Cause. He's the guy that races James Dean and goes off the cliff. And I just thought he was great. And Warren Oates, Logan Miller plays Warren Oates' character, and he's a Warren Oates is a huge man, and I just thought it was a really cool casting idea to cast Logan as this sort of different person but have the same intentions. And yeah, so it was a sort of a fun breeding ground for inspiration, yet doing our own thing.
Yeah. So would you say that was the biggest difference between the two was kind of the casting? Or what would you say?
So I think the biggest difference is that the yeah, I mean, the modernization was part of it, but the original film is sort of linear, so it just tells one story, and you don't get to sort of see the backstory of these characters as much as in our version, where we really do get to see the beginnings of each of these main characters, where they come from and what their intentions are. So I thought that was a really sort of ambitious way for Chad to do it, and something that really separates this from the original.
So you star alongside Ashley Benson, and this is not a first for you. I mean, you've done several projects with her. So clearly it's got to be a good set. It's got to be a good atmosphere for you guys to be on. Is
Yeah.
it is it fun? Like, are you guys friends in real life? What's it like?
Yes, we it's awesome. We've been friends for a long time. I don't even remember the first time we made a movie together, but it was years ago.
Mhm.
And then I wrote and produced this movie that she came to do for me, and we actually just got back from Georgia and Alabama. We shot our fourth movie together. So yeah,
Wow.
in Private Property was our third movie, and Chad really thought that she was the perfect actress for the role, and I think it's the greatest performance she's given. I may be a little biased, but I thought she was just great. And yeah, we are really good friends. I would consider one of my best buddies, and I think that was really helpful for this particular movie, where it's such a difficult relationship, and we're so vulnerable at times with each other and have to sort of see more than meets the eye. So yeah, it was an incredible experience, and I was just so blown away by her. The first movie we did was years before, and I just felt like as an actress, she just sort of just hit it in stride and was just incredible in this role.
Yeah, your chemistry kind of made it. It was a complicated relationship to say the least in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you did an interview in 2016. I'm taking it back. You were kind of cast in these roles as like the hot guy that girls fall in love with and the Prince Charming. And you were kind of over that and you wanted to start something new. So what attracts you to roles now?
What attracts me to roles? I feel like I'm really lucky right now, where I'm finally sort of being seen as an adult man, where these roles just feel a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex. I've had children in the last couple of movies that I've done, which is a sort of side of life that I didn't really get to think about before. So I would say that becoming an adult male actor, at least, is something that's become really fulfilling. I mean, it's a challenge because of how much sort of work and preparation goes into the movie, and how sort of challenging it is to I guess there's just a lot more burden on a man, right? There's so many responsibilities and so many things to think about, whereas as a younger man, it's sort of a little bit more carefree. So to me, yeah, I've been really lucky to get a little bit more of these complex sort of adult roles that are challenging me right now.
Yeah. So this is a question I was talking about. It does not go in this linear order. So at the beginning, we don't really know much about your character. And we kind of see there's a little bit of empathy that we have for him because they're giving us this background, but we don't really know the whole story. Do you think your character had redeeming qualities in him?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, you know, he's a schemer for sure.
Yes.
So I think first and foremost, he looks out for number one, which is himself. And sort of for his whole life has probably had to do that for whatever reasons. And I think this is, you know, the reason why this movie is made and why this story is being told is because in this particular instance with this woman, something changes in him and he becomes a little bit flustered by the fact that he kind of maybe loves her, thinks she maybe has feelings for him that are real, and he doesn't really know what to do with that. So this is the first instance where, you know, in some way he's confused and he's not able to follow through with his criminal intentions as well as he normally would be because of this particular female and the feelings that he has for her. So I would hope that there are some redeeming qualities in him, because I think there are redeeming qualities in every human being. You know, no matter what mistakes we make, they're mistakes for the most part. And yeah, I want to see the best in everybody. And I'm, you know, it might be tough for people to see the best in my character Ben, but
it's interesting.
But I try to.
Yeah, I mean, and you're playing him, so of course you're trying to get the background and see at least a little good in him.
Yeah.
So this movie, it is like a horror thriller, and it's coming out this Friday, which is Friday the 13th. So, are you a believer in the superstitions of Friday the 13th?
You know, I don't know them too well, but I tend to think that you know, anything that's unlucky could be flipped on a dime and become lucky. So I would say that this is a perfect day for the movie to come out because if you do believe in those things, there is something sort of nerve-wracking and scary about watching this film, and at the same time, I say that, you know, it's about time that Friday the 13th does something good for us as well. So
we're gonna flip it, have some good luck for you. But
yeah.
I hope everyone kind of gets into that superstitious mindset and goes and sees Private Property in theaters and on demand. So thank you so much for talking to me, Shiloh.
Thank you.
I'd like to report an illegal alien in my neighborhood. Only suckers choose not to play it.
You like her. You want her.
You want me to cut her so she bleeds all over? She makes no difference to me. You want something that doesn't belong to it. What? You. Kinda overstayed my welcome.
Maybe you should go.
Do you want me to?